This game was actually called Own a Car and Race, and this game was absolutely over 9 years old. So, if we're gonna be driving with some vintage cars, and for the first time ever that I should be able to drive like these cars, and you can able to drive some randomly cars and not even some jeeps. And unfortunately, someone got a some Game Pass like something, and more mostly so, and even in absolutely like history, and you'll be driving a silver car, so it must be the light blue, and it sounds like a ZX1, and unfortunately I really can't, so I need to choose a blue one instead of the red Ferrari, and instead of these 1950s ones, so even gonna be choosing some Bentley or other stuff and not Mercedes or someone. I'm gonna be trying a blue one. So let's drive all the way down right here. So if we're gonna be starting a race, so I have to require for a lot of players for someone. So even I love this vintage cars, and if you're going for an onboard view, the car just absolutely disappear, and we can going to get a starting for a good race, and nothing whatever, it's just a lap time, and we're gonna be starting right now, and unfortunately I'm going to be moving closer to my microphone as well. The car handling is easy to steer, and it was absolutely very painful as well. So if you turn with this car during the high speeds, until if you wanted to brake and that car causes the skid, and because of skidding was absolutely pretty terrifying, and because skidding causes car accidents or even especially fatal accidents as well. So let's start, shall we, for a good lap time for this way. And I'm going to be careful around this circuit, and it was even very dark as well. Nothing what it is, and I'm going to be getting spawning out of this side, and this is pretty little bit painful, but more painful, and you can drift this kind of a vintage car as well, and unfortunately even it's very harder to drift, and it can cause damage, and I might able to hit the engine, and I'm going to be exposed of explosive fuel, and this lap time was absolutely failure. It looks like I got a crash for this, and we got a missing wheels, and unfortunately this car not very good lap times, and I just went fall off onto the map. I gotta use a green vintage race car, and let's give a good lap times, because this is gonna be a very painful for this. If you try to go spin out and during this turn, and you might going for a fatal accident, which will cause a lot of skids, makes that causing for fatal accidents. And because you mean for this one, and I really can't whatsoever, and because of this, and it's pretty sounds like according to the US auto industry, that means skid causes fatal accidents on vehicles of industries. That is the worst things that you ever seen. And I'm not using the regular tires, and because of something like this, it's very terrible, and it's very extremely drifting. So this is the world's legitly harder game, and it's not very hard as well. The most hard one is the F1 2012, and it's very impossible to drive as well. The most impossible is the F1 2012. The hardest one is Own a Car and Race, and it's very hard to drive as not actually the Formula 1 cars. And we just barely failed and bypassing the lap times because of cutting corners, and we just a little bit crash, and we're almost hitting to the engine, which means my car should absolutely explode myself to death. I repaired this green car, so I'm not able to complete some lap times, not able to stop right on time, because it's really not very good as well. So I'm not giving a bad review, so this game is still pretty good, but unfortunately is not so bad, and it feels kind of a bit wasteful, and nobody is even playing like this, and everyone should not allow to drive everything, so everyone can allow to drive this because this car was absolutely painless. And because of this steering is absolutely increasing internal hard. And it is so much fun and nothing would ever do. And I'm gonna be losing some parts right there, so instead of these right ones, and we just failed for completed laps and because of these accidents. So how many penalty seconds that I have? Nothing that I always. If I crash and I get kill myself, this is nothing that I'm going to be saying like this. I keep on spinning for so many laps and so many times, and now there's no wheel covers everywhere. So I can still race and I'm not going to win to do so. And it's even darker as well, so if I move into the darker as well, so this is where the accident happens. And I keep on crashing too much, not able to do anyways. Oh no, this car is going to literally on fire. And looks like I'm about to return back into the pits. And unfortunately, I'm going to be losing this tire. Oh no, I'm going to get loose and everything. And this is going to be making self-destruct. And looks like we're heading back down in here. And this car was absolutely a 1920s version, so it looks like pretty much. So I'm going to try another one as well, and I'm pretty sure this car won't able to burn much money and trying to kill myself by an explosion as nothing whatsoever. And it looks like the 1920s one, and unfortunately, I cut everything forever, and because of the steering, and not much as well, and I keep on spin out for so many times. This vintage car probably looks like that, so I ever going to be returned into this garage, and I'm going to get off the car as anyways. And another vintage car has spawned as well, so even this car might able to explode by itself, so I'm going to get in this green kind of car, so I'm going to get out once again and reset my character. So let's get into the red Ferrari as the 1949. So let's drop in, and I'm not going to be resetting for my character for myself. Here we go. I'm about to slow down for this moment, so I make sure I'm going to be careful around this circuit. So I'm not going to speed around it because speeding was absolutely kind of dangerous in this game. This is absolutely dangerous to play this when you're speeding, not able to stop on time because of skidding. Makes this feeling so very stressful, and not very stressful it was because it caused some fatal accidents or even like car crashes or other stuff, and this is more worse things that I ever seen inside of this history. So how to avoid this accident in 1949, and looks like there are my car parts in the middle side of this track. Oh no, I accidentally speed myself over this, and looks like I really failed for this lap times, and I got killed myself. Since I respawned with these cars, let's get in right into this place. So look at the vintage cars, even like some other pictures or something, everything was kind of a bit good for the old years. And look, we have some kind of these Jeeps, and if you want to drive them, and if you might absolutely going to get themselves ready, or else, if you wanted to drive with some pretty old vintage cars, you absolutely get killed myself, and I won't able to drive this for now. So anyways, if you enjoy for this video, so make sure this game is linked in description, and this game is absolutely 9 years old as well. So you can still play for this one, and you grab a first car, and such as the blue, red, and the light cyan as the gold and silver one, and the green one as well. So thank you for watching and for all your support. So more coming, and lots of things is going to be work to do. So this is Turbo Concepts signing off, and I'll talk to you all later as well. And nothing, you can see this already.